Welcome back to Confessions of an Evolving Millennial. My name is Nancy, and today I have a guest.
Yes.
Yeah, what's your name?
Hey. My name is Shali. Yeah, so my name is Shali, Nancy's friend for like a decade.
Over a decade. It's been
Over a decade, yeah.
We met in campus first year.
I know.
Yeah.
It's been
a long time.
Actually, it's more than 10 years now.
Yeah, it has to be.
Like
That's
12 years.
2013.
Yeah.
2013.
Yeah.
We started campus.
Yeah.
Hey, what are some of my miaka zetu? 2013.
Okay, sawa.
So yeah, actually, it's.
But we made it mysterious. Like you can't.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mentioned in the previous video that I'm going to bring someone to talk about something that we talked about in the previous video on limiting beliefs. Partly because I really admire her journey, and I've watched you, babe. Let me talk to you. I've watched you really going beyond those limiting beliefs intentionally, and I've seen how it's completely changed your life. And there's so much I get to learn from you. So I want everyone else to also learn and hear what they can be able to do to break free from those limiting beliefs.
But okay, I can't say I've broken free, but I've actually made like a lot of steps. So I'm just let's see what we can get, what we can unpack.
So let's dive right in. So I'm going to ask her questions, and I'm going to changia where I can. Kama sina mchangio na nyamaza.
Okay.
So the first question I want to ask is, what's one limiting belief you held on for years that you know was a complete lie? Now you know that it's a complete lie.
Gosh. Okay. I think what I can say is I've had quite a number of limiting beliefs. Okay. How can I say this? Let's talk about the biggest elephant in everyone's room. And I think that's the limiting belief around money. So I think for me, the one that I've come to believe was a lie is that money is hard to get. Money is something that you shouldn't depend on other people for. And eventually I've come to unearth that belief about myself, because I used to feel like you need to suffer a bit longer for you to reach a certain level of financial freedom. I'm not saying I'm Jeff Bezos, but that's what I mean. But then I think for now that I've been able to unearth that, I've just found out that that's a complete lie, because I've come to realize that the level of financial level that I've reached actually was easier. It was much easier to get there. So I'm hoping that's just one of the examples. I'm hoping as we continue to converse, we'll be able to unpack that. So, and I'm hoping that also if we talk about the methods and tools that I use to reach where I am now and where I'm going, it's gonna help somebody out there. Something like that.
Do you think it has something to do with how in our society, our parents specifically, they had to work so hard to be able to get money? So it's they kind of grilled in that idea of you have to work very hard and for many years, because they also talk about you have to work hard for many years so that you can be able to get to a certain place. Do you think it has something to do with that?
I think it does. And our parents, God bless their hearts, they had the best intention. But I guess also, this is something that I tell both my mom and my dad, the world has evolved so much. And even that time when they were kids, the world was evolving. And even the times we're living in now, it's actually, to be very honest, it's actually easier to access financial freedom, just because the fact that the world is now a global village. People work remotely, people have 10 jobs compared to back then. But at the same time, even if you still find that even us as we are right now in this world, we even like when we start having kids or those who already have, we might instill those same beliefs just because that's where you came from.
From our own experience.
From our own experiences, But I guess also the funny thing, me I say, I'm very sure that there are people who, during our parents' time, when our parents were kids, they were able to access financial freedom. So I don't think it's a matter of generations or where people come from. I just think it's how you perceive the world. And that's a very, I don't want to get into that so much. But also I've come to learn like your perception of the world really matters a lot. So even if you're born in the 60s or you're going to be born in 2052.
That is so true.
The perception of the world will really matter.
I actually agree with you, especially because I know someone whose parents are in their 80s, but they actually accessed financial, like back in the day. Back in the day, they are very open-minded. And they're like the age of my grandparents.
I
agree with you.
I hope I'm answering your question.
Yeah, you're answering. You're definitely answering.
Okay.
And then the next question I want to ask is, like, can you remember a time when a limiting belief stopped you from doing something that you really wanted, and what was your breaking point? I don't want to talk about money so much because that's just one aspect of life. But at the same time, specifically when it comes to this limiting belief about money, what stopped me from getting to what I wanted. For example, about money, I remember I had a job that I didn't like. I really didn't like that job. I didn't like what I was being paid, for instance. And what stopped me was, this is COVID. You can't leave your job. Why don't you just wait and apply for jobs before you need it? And I'm not telling anyone to quit their jobs. Like for me, that's what I did. I left my job without having anything in place at the time. But then I feel like that's one of the things that we are taught. Like, when somebody, for example, who's still in uni, they're like, your first job, it should be, and I feel like I'm also like one of the people who do that. Like, your first job from uni, don't expect to be paid a lot. Don't expect to work hard and get peanuts. But I feel like that's not the reality for everyone. You get. So, for example, when it comes to money, like I remember sticking in a job too long than I should have. Another limiting belief about, for example, relationships, I found myself staying with someone way too longer than I should have. And like I knew deep down, like how deep down you just know, like, this is not what I want, and I'm still staying there because you're like, but this is what I know, this is who I have. Relationships are hard. And honestly, relationships are not hard. In my personal opinion, relationships are just relationships. It just depends on the type of person that you are with at that time. So I think, and then also I've tend to also realize that life is somehow interconnected. So whatever beliefs limiting you hold about money, your career, your partner, your friendships, your what, somehow, if you have a belief that there's nothing better for me out there yet, you'll stick with that guy, you'll stick with that girl, you'll stick in that job, you'll stick in everything because you're like you have the fear of I don't want to wade into unknown waters. But then that unknown, I'm putting it in quotes because if you live your life intentionally, the future is not unknown. Like you might not really know how it plays out the how, you might not know how it's playing out, but the outcome is certain. True.
That's a lot.
To unpack.
We'll unpack another day. But that's what I can say. Like, just if you take a look at the things you tolerate in one aspect, you will find that it's leaking onto other aspects of your life. You get? And I remember seeing somewhere that your fear is your faith. So even the thing you're afraid of, that is actually something you have faith in, that it will come true. So that's what I can
What do you think was there? Like, did you have like an epiphany, like a moment where you were just like, enough is enough?
Yes, I mean, I feel like I can even remember the specific time when I realized that I can't keep living like this. Like, have you ever asked yourself, like, I can't keep doing this?
Yeah.
I can't keep
be
this
it.
can't be it.
Yeah.
That's what I was feeling. Like, no, is this really it? Is this really life?
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me that, by the way, let me tell you, I was sitting on this chair and then I was like, I went on YouTube and I was like, why do I exist? Like, am I serious? Like, are you saying that this is it? Like, this is what I was born to be? Like, I felt like, for me, that's I was going through an existential crisis or whatever. Because I was just like, no, that's not it. And for me, that's when I decided I'm going to change my life. And then I feel like also, when you grow up, you can't keep being like, oh, my parents did this to me. But also at the same time, like, also people's experiences are different. Like, maybe the way my parents were, or not how your parents were, how your parents. People have different experiences in life. But I feel like I reached a point where I was like, how can life get better for me? And it's not like I was in the bottom of the barrel. Like, I was doing fine, but I think I wasn't okay with just being okay and fine. I was like, how can I live? How can I actually live and create a life that I want? Because the life that you want and that maybe someone like Elon Musk wants, those are two vastly different things. But at the same time, it's what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it doesn't have to measure up to other people's. But I guess I'm just like, for me, it was just, I remember at that time, I was just like, this can't be it. How can I? So that's when I started getting to study about spirituality and all that. I think my life has made there's a friend of mine who told me, like, Shali, you've made a quantum leap. If she watches this, she knows that. She was telling me, like, I made a quantum leap.
Yeah.
And then, but I'm sure people who are watching this, they'll be like, no, life is life. Life just happens. But I promise you have more control and power than you think. So that's when I started learning, like, what power and control do I have over my life. And I started taking it. And I'm repeating this again, the future is certain. It's not an unknown. The only unknown is the process, like the how. And that doesn't, and when you get into learning about life, the how does not really concern you. What you should just be concerned with, what outcome do you want? So for me, that's what I can say. Me, I know exactly what I want. Like, I know exactly what I want in the future, and I know I'm going to get it. And if I don't get it, it's because it's something better than I imagined.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. I think I relate to what you're saying. Like, just having that feeling of, like, this can't be it. For me, I feel like it got to a point where I was like, this doesn't even feel like my life.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, like, it's like, because you did, I feel like deep down we all have a knowing of, like, what we are capable of, or the kind of life that we belong in, for lack of a better word. And for me, I think that kind of like turning point was just suddenly starting to feel like, no, this can't be it. This doesn't even feel like my life. This feels like
you're living somebody else's life.
Living someone else's life. And I'm like, no, this can't be it. And I need to make changes. Like, I need to, at the end of the day, like you say, we are constantly making choices. Like, it's not at oh, this is happening to me. Like, you're constantly, and
that's
like, okay,
true.
Since I have the power, what can I do to make a change?
Exactly.
Because I feel like this is not my life now.
What can I do?
Exactly.
Yeah, I really like that because I feel like a lot of people don't want to imagine that they have more control over their life than they actually do. Because I think a lot of times, even me myself, I found myself looking for a scapegoat. I can't do this because I don't have that job, and I can't do this because I don't have this or I don't have that. But then, like, when you realize the responsibility you hold over your life, like, it's a very deep responsibility. But then most of the time we want to give it out there to the world. It's the economy, it's the what, it's the disease of COVID,
It's the things I've been through.
it's the things I've been through. But then you can even the deepest things that you've been through, you can overcome them. But then like you have to own your power and then you have to take it. Yeah, I mean that's what I can say.
That is so true. I have a question, like for example, with the situation with like the job, and you just knew you need, like, this is not it, you want to make a jump. Before even making that jump, what are some of the things that you intentionally did? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what
Yeah.
you mean. I cried. Oh my god.
Preaching to the choir.
I cried. But I don't remember the last time I cried.
Really?
I really don't. Okay, I think maybe the last time I cried is when I lost my cousin, which is understandable.
Yeah.
But that was like 2023, and before that I don't remember. Ever since I started like taking control of my life, I don't even remember having a bad day. Like even the things that I consider bad days, I don't call them bad days.
Yeah.
But then now when I look at that time, at that when I was doing when I wanted to leave my job, I didn't even know that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But I guess after crying, and after going through that, this can't be it. I remember I started reading Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, and like it really made me feel like, okay, by the way, you know what? If I'm able to take a leap of faith and trust that that leap that I'm taking is going to take me somewhere or the way I want to be, you really have to take a leap of faith. And you may not even know what a leap of faith looks like to you or for somebody else. But I'm telling you, that's the best thing I ever did. And I remember, like, also practical things that I did. Leap of faith, leave the job. That's number one. But number two, even if I left that job, like, what's it called? I still had doubts. Like, I didn't have doubts about, like, oh my god, what am I doing? You know, like, why am I even doing this? But then I feel like, what's it called? The second thing is, this is a weird thing I'm going to say. The second thing is, imagine I realized like there are so many voices that have been going on in my head, and I'm not saying that because I'm schizophrenic or anything, but the voices, meaning there are many things that you've been told that you're supposed to do. So for example, your parents will tell you, oh, you know, you shouldn't like leave a job to do this. Or other people will be like, oh, you know, now you're married, you shouldn't leave that husband. You already signed the marriage certificate. Oh, you know, that's your sister, you shouldn't like do this. Or that's your brother, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't live your life. You're a woman, you shouldn't do this. You're a man, you should be the one who's providing. You're a woman, you should want to have children. So like, it's like there are so many voices that have gone into your head, and you know, I don't know whether you know yourself. Me, that's what I can tell someone. Do you really know yourself?
That's what they're trying to do.
Hey, you have to know yourself.
Yeah.
You have to know why you do things the way they do. And me, that was like my point. Like, why do I do things the way I do? So like, why do I stick in a place where I feel like I'm feeling like it's, you know? So the other thing that I literally did, you know, I take my phone and I record with my voice and I tell myself things. So I know people would call it like affirmations, but me, I don't think I was doing it as an affirmation. I was doing it like, I am starting a job on, I remember I said on 30th June of that year, I am doing this, I am going to be like this, and this is what I want, this is what I'll get, this. I go to sleep, I put it on my bedside.
Yeah.
And I don't hear, like, you know, I read somewhere, you're not supposed to put it in a loud that is overwhelming you. Even sometimes put it somewhere, you can even barely hear it, but it's like your subconscious, which is like a computer program for you, how you run your life, somehow, it's like taking it in.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, I remember like I had applied for some job on LinkedIn, and like I did an interview, and then I was signing the contract. The hiring manager sent me the contract like, on 30th June at like 8 p.m. And then you know something like, but God, I told you, like that's what I want. You get?
Exactly.
So that's why I keep saying, like, the future is certain for me. Like me, where I've reached, the future is certain. I just don't know how things might unfold, but I know exactly what the outcome is going to be. So practical steps, like you have to take the leap of faith. And even before you take the leap of faith, maybe you want to make a curveball and change the direction. So for instance, it's me, I would say, for example, if it's a relationship you're thinking of leaving, if it's a job you're thinking of leaving, if it's a friend you want to break up with, if it's what, the first thing, before you even leave that job, leave that partner, leave that friend, end the friendship, or whatever it is, like stop, don't put any more energy into it.
Yeah.
Meaning, tell your partner, can I just have a break for one day? If it's a job, can you take annual leave for one day and just go and sit and synthesize about like what exactly it is you want? Because another thing is a lot of people are very sure about what they don't want. They know they don't want a guy who's cheating. They don't want a girl who's just after his money. They don't want this. But what do you want? Like,
exactly.
you know, so you have to know exactly what you want.
Yeah.
For me, if I was leaving that job, I was like, I have to know what exactly I want.
Yeah, true.
I can't be just like, I'm leaving this job and I'm like, I'll go for anything. You can't do that. Yeah, so me I'd say, take a pause, take the leap of faith, and then talk to yourself. What do you say when you talk to yourself? So me, when I tell you I put on the phone and I'm recording my voice, and then I go to sleep and I put it at a very small sound. That is what I'm saying when I talk to myself. That's what I say. And imagine like things. I'm telling you, I promise you, the future will be certain.
Yeah, right.
That's what I can say. Yeah.
I like what you say, because I read somewhere that people are so focused on I am not, or I don't want this, and then now you end up putting your focus on that. You're not focusing on what you want.
That's true.
And who you are.
That's true.
And so you end up continuously attracting
the things that you don't want.
You're saying you don't want, because that's where your focus is. You're not focusing on
that's
actually
so
what
true.
you actually want.
You keep focusing on, oh my god, I cannot have money, I'm so broke. Oh, okay, how will you get the money?
Yeah,
if your only
exactly.
focus is on, oh my god, I'm so broke.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't have this. Oh my god, I don't have a child. Oh my god, I don't have this. And it's so funny how the people who act so nonchalant about things are the ones who get to the very things. Because they're so nonchalant about it. Yeah, so I guess it's very important. Like, do you even really know what you want? Do you know yourself? And do you know what you want?
Exactly.
Do you know what you want? I mean, I think that's what you know what you want.
Yeah.
But then also, I think like, just to give like somebody like a reprieve on that, negativity sometimes is good because it actually helps you to know what you want. So if like you say oh my god, I'm broke. Okay, so what you actually want is money, for example.
Yeah.
So like if you're very clear about the things you don't want, then how about you take those things and then convert them, use them to get to know what exactly you want. Exactly. So I think that's what I can say about that. That's another story for
Another story for another. It's something that I was thinking when you were talking. I said I'm going to talk about. And it's skipping my mind.
I'm so sorry. I hope it will come.
Okay, I hope it comes. I hope it comes. What is it? Oh yes. I wanted to say that now, for me personally, in my own experience, I feel like one of the things that I started doing intentionally before making a certain leap of faith was I started building within myself the world that I want.
Yes.
You get like, okay, if I'm thinking about, okay, in my ideal reality, I'm such a calm person, I'm not worried, I'm just like, I go for walks in the morning, I do ABCD, I started like now embodying that even before like
what you're seeing
exactly like small tiny things, and just choosing to enjoy also life and focusing on, because when you even look at life, Atakama for example, it's like let's say a job that you're like, this is just tying me down to like, and it's not what I want. I feel like you can still find two small things to be grateful for. You get what I mean?
Even in that situation.
In fact, I was reading somewhere also that the best way to get out of like quote unquote bad situation is by finding a way to restructure it to see how it has served you.
That's true.
So that you're
That's
not
so true.
living from a place of like bitterness. You're living
That's so
from a
true.
place of actually you have served me in this and this and this way.
Yeah.
So you're like you're looking at it as it was a step for me to get to this point. For example, for me, I remember like in a certain job, I started just like appreciating the small tiny things. Like, oh my god, I have such amazing colleagues. Like we talk about like life, we enjoy each other's company. Like just tiny things.
Yeah.
Oh, I get to do this.
Yeah, true.
This allows me to do ABCD. So by the time I made that leap of faith, it was not from a place of resentment.
That's true. Actually,
all.
that's so
And
important.
I feel like I've seen how it's different. My experience is different from maybe someone else who left like when they're
Yes.
resentful.
That's so true.
Yeah, and you've talked to me about that before. Do you think you can add something on that?
Yeah,
Like,
actually,
what
that's
usually, think about it?
First of all, let me tell you. You see that job that you're hating right now, or that guy you don't like right now, or that girl who is showing you dust right now. I'm telling you, you'll see the importance one day.
Yeah.
Because like Nini, for me, like I remember the job that I just was doing recently. Like I couldn't have gotten it without the experience that I had at the place that I didn't like. And then number two, like on what you've just mentioned right now, like you need to, when you know yourself, now when you get to a place where you're starting to know yourself, you'll also question the intention behind how you make the decisions you make. Because let me tell you, no good thing can come from a bad place. So if, for example, if you're bitter about someone and you're like, okay, you know, all men, men are just dogs. I'm telling you, you'll meet dogs only. I kid you not. You're going to meet Rottweilers and German Shepherds only. So if you're there saying, oh, you know, all the people are like this, what good thing can come from a bad place? So that's for you in your case, like if you say you're gonna do this job and you're bitter about your boss, you're bitter about everyone, you're talking you're talking bad about everyone. Tell me what your next job is going to be. What good thing can come from that? What seed? What, you know, and I like the way there's a book I was reading, the analogy was like, every time you have a desire, it's like you're planting a seed. Please tell me what plant can come out of a seed that is sick? It's not gonna.
Exactly.
If it's a healthy seed, a healthy tree, for example, will come out of it. So just know that, I know life sometimes can come with its own challenges, especially if you're someone who is still in a place where I don't know myself, I don't know why I do things the way I do. I don't know why when somebody says something I react the way I do. So when you start getting to a place where now for me I can say I actually know myself, and I'm still knowing myself. There are things I discovered about myself that I didn't know
just yesterday
night. So it's like when you start to know yourself and when you begin that journey, there's a certain freedom that comes with it, because now you will not do things from a bad place, because you'll be super conscious about the things that you do. So you're like, your job button and you bought, I can't wait to leave. I'm telling you,
just find the silver lining.
There's a silver lining.
Find how it's serving you in that particular
I promise
moment.
you, it's serving you.
And actually something that we've been talking about is how we want to detach from the idea that they are good and bad. Like everything is just they're things.
Everything is
they're just
things.
things, you know.
Yeah.
So how we say, like how maybe the Bible would put it and say everything works out together for good. Everything is everything.
Actually, babes, you know my
Literally
screensaver.
Yeah.
Me actually, my phone, when you just tap it like this, things always working out for me. I always read that.
Exactly.
But
it's just the image
it becomes second nature.
And I think that's why now you can comfortably say, Ati, you don't even remember the last time you had a bad day.
I don't remember.
It's not because you're not experiencing those two challenges, but it's like because you choose. even that thing that people will call bad, I know there's a way that it's serving me. There's a way that it's working out together for my good. So now it's no longer a bad thing per se, you know.
I know.
Yeah.
Because do you remember, like when I was joining the job I was like recently at, and then I remember, like, you remember the whole thing that happened, like.
Yes, at December. That December.
Okay, I cried. Okay, that's the last time I cried actually.
Yeah.
So like I remember, I'm like, I want to join this workplace. It's so good. I'm going to travel. I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
And then like they need a police clearance certificate, and this year is just like, I'm supposed
and then,
to.
I don't know, you randomly lost your ID. Like just
I'm
in the
like,
house.
they're like,
and you never even leave the house.
I never leave the house.
It's like, wow, the ID be lost.
As if you guys, it was traumatic. That's what I can say. Like, but then funny thing, I was about to, I'm wanting to join that job, and they're telling me join by this date, and I can't because I don't have a police clearance certificate. I can't reapply for a new one because I've lost the ID that I've never lost.
Yeah.
When I reapply for the ID, they're telling me it's gonna take 4 months.
Yes.
I'm just like, why is like me? I don't think I've ever experienced hurdle after hurdle. I was here with Mercy, my friend, looking for my ID, tearing my house apart, and I never found it.
Yeah.
And then eventually I got that police clearance. I remember the day when I got that police clearance is when I realized, like, what am I doing? You know, ask myself, like, why am I like being anxious and panicking over something that is clearly wanting to move in a different direction? Why am I trying so hard and doing all these things? Even my friend, I remember, she gave me, I didn't even know DCI had this huge lab building. Like, she gave me the contacts there. She's like, please don't tell them to help you. And then when I get that job, like, imagine it's like things worked out that way, so that a specific time there in the future,
oh my God,
I didn't get redundant in that time in the future because I joined late. You guys.
And literally, if you would have joined that time in December,
imagine I would have gone home after like 9 or 8 months.
Imagine.
Because they were declaring redundancy for the people who joined with my time.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I feel like that's why I say I've never had a bad. And even that time when I'm telling you I was stressed about that police clearance, come to think of it, those were not bad days.
Yeah, imagine.
So those things you are stressing about, but then the thing is, it depends from which point of view you're looking at life. Because if you look at life from the point of view that things are like, life just doesn't work, Ruto's economy doesn't work, I'm telling you, life will be like, okay, hey, it is not working.
Exactly.
But then I feel like also you need to realize, if you start this journey of trying to know yourself, and then you start applying these principles, you're going to experience the thing I experienced in that December of trying to change that. Because there's a guy who says, it's like your old version is fighting for its life. You're trying to kill it, and then it's there fighting for its life by showing this is not how life is, the way we were saying, So just be cognizant of that, and it's going to be a difficult time, but then you'll realize it's actually not difficult. That was the best thing that could have ever happened to you.
That is so true.
Yeah. So for me, I've never had a bad day in 3 years. Yes.
And now that you've gotten into that, if someone is watching this and they're struggling with self-doubt, what's the first thing you tell them?
It's okay to struggle with self-doubt. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Even me, like, sitting here, it's not that there are times that I'm like, oh, me, I'm now doubt-free. I'm there, gallivanting the world, getting everything I want. But I feel like you need to understand that it's okay. And then also, it depends. You can't compare yourself with someone like me who started studying these things. Actually, I started like 5 years ago. So if you're somebody who's starting now, of course, it's okay to have self-doubt. It's very okay. But then I want you to realize that you have more power than you think you do. Let's start from there.
That's what you keep telling me.
Yeah, like you have more power than you think you do. And if there's something you're really doubting, it's because there's a version of you. It's like there's an internal conflict that's going on inside you where you're at a crossroad, and that's why you have doubts. Because if things were straight like this, what are you doubting? Because how it's like, this is the only road I am seeing, that's what I'm going to walk on. But definitely if you're at a crossroads, then it means there's an internal conflict that's going on inside you. That's why the doubt is arising. So the first thing I'll tell you, like, can you chill? Can you just chill? chill, stop taking any action, stop trying to decide even what to do, and just chill first. And then like if you are somebody who likes writing, me I don't like writing, but just telling you my writing has even gone down. But me I usually take my phone for example, or you can take something you write on and try and decide, okay, each two that I'm feeling doubt about, like what is it that I'm trying to decide, what is it that I actually desire. And actually when you start learning this spiritual journey, you will come to realize that actually your default setting is to be happy, to be at peace. So even the self-doubt thing is not a default. It's not what you even like, for lack of a better word, the intention that God had for you.
Exactly.
You get, so if you are crying at night because of like your marriage, or you're crying at night because of your job, or you're crying at night, that's not the real you. Even for lack of a better word, the default setting is actually for you to just be okay, to be at peace, to be what. So if you're having self-doubt and you're not somebody like me who has taken the steps like for those 5 years, I would just advise you like calm down first, don't take any action. If it's a job, take a break of one day to figure things out. What is it that you actually want? If it's a relationship, take a break. And then the decision that feels the most good to you, I swear that's the best. That's the best thing for you. Yeah.
There's something you said that I really like, that my mom and I are constantly talking about. Like the way you're saying, your default setting, like the real you leans more towards just being at peace, being happy. And my mom and I like to say, actually that's why kids, when a child just comes into this, it's just how a kid is, because they're just carefree, they have so much faith. A child has so much faith, like they're so happy, they don't care about what people think. And that's because to some degree they've not had the experiences of life that now start adding those limiting beliefs to them as they continue to grow. But like our default setting is technically
like a child.
Like just
what did Jesus say?
Yes.
Actually, let me tell you, Jesus is one of a very, very good spiritual teacher. Be like those little kids. You find kids running, they don't even have pants on. They are half naked and they're crying.
What are you saying?
No, I mean like, you see.
Do we start running around? Okay.
No, please don't do that. But I'm saying like embody that sentiment. They're just running around. They cry when they want. They're just free. They don't care that they don't have pants on. They don't care that they're laughing when it's a funeral, for example. They don't care that it's time for praying and they're jumping about, because that is the embodiment that we are actually supposed to have, So like be like little children in that sense, because for real your default setting is not at najua maisha ni ngumu. Life is hard. Me, but hey, let me tell you, me when I sit with people and they're like, oh my god, life is me, you find me so quiet. I have nothing to say. And funny thing, babe, I don't even like try and convince them. No, life is not like that. I'm just like, life is period. Life is what it is. Like, kisema ni ngumu. That's the thing that what is it called? Free will.
Yes.
That we keep talking. Christians say, like free will. Literally, it's like you have the freedom to choose. So life is what it is. It's bad, okay. It's good, okay.
It's like life is what you decide.
Exactly. Life is just what it is.
True. I like that. Now that we talked about like, that self-doubt and also how like a child did not even have any limiting beliefs. It's like as they grow up, that's when the world kind of like puts those beliefs into them. Like how do you keep yourself from falling back into some of those limiting beliefs? Because you said sometimes even it's like you have some doubt here and there. It's not like it's just failing. So how do you keep yourself from falling back into some of those old beliefs?
I'll put it like this. There's this book I read. Actually, you have my book, girl. It's called Reality Transurfing. That book says, like, imagine, like, I know I'm not quoting the author word by word, but the author says, like, try and imagine, like, life and, people on earth as people going about their day, going about their lives as, is it Imagine an ostrich, or what bird is that puts its head like on the ground. Like it's never like there's a time when it just sinks its head into the ground and it's stagnant like that. So the author is trying to say, just imagine like millions of people like that, and their head sticking in the ground is like people living unconsciously, not knowing how they are going about their lives. And in that sense, you may know how you're going about your life, but you don't know yourself, you don't know. And then the person who has decided that they're going to take their power now is the one who sticks up. Now, like, you went to me, yeah, now the odd one out now, and you and the other people know your odd ones out. So, in that very sense, you have to wake up. Actually, that book, I read that clean. I'm like, you have to wake up. You have to be, just know, like, if you wake up every day, you go about your day, you don't even pay attention to yourself. When somebody spills tea on you, you go ballistic, or you get pissed. And then you don't even think about why they react like that. You just go about your day, go to sleep, then you wake up. Now your head is here. And then when you stick up is when now you have woken up to realizing like, hey, wait, I actually have control of my life. And for me now, because I stuck my head up, in that sense, there's no day, it has become effortless. That's how I can just put it. It has become effortless because I have prior experiences that I lean on. Now that's what's going to help you. When you start practicing such things, and then you have the experiences to lean on that are giving you the confidence to be like
you have data.
I have data.
That's like,
but see the thing, like I did this and things worked out. See
Yeah.
that time when I was needing the police clearance, things worked out the way they did.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that will help you actually. When you have tangible data that your life is changing, that's what's going to inform like what's going to happen for you. That's what's going to help you like now the days when you're having self-doubt, the days you're what. Now when you go back and then you realize that by the way, okay, I know right now in this present moment I'm currently going through this. But when I think back of the past,
Exactly.
but so have the data. I mean that's what I can tell you. And you'll never have the data if you don't wake up
and start making the steps, like learning as you go.
Exactly. Completely.
That's really nice. I think what I want to ask the last thing I think I want to ask is, what's one new empowering belief that you live by now? Like that's like.
Why didn't you tell me these questions before? Now. What's new?
What's a new empowering belief that you live by now? I feel like you mentioned it as we are going.
Okay, just to sum up to everything I've said, I've come to believe that I'm living life exactly the way I want. And I've come to believe that things can unfold for me like the way I would desire for them to go. Like I don't have to come from a place of let me just stay with this guy. Let me just stay at this job, or let me just do this. Let me just I'm over those. Me actually, because you're telling me that I just every day you can just wake up and leave something and just move. Me, I'm just like that.
Yeah.
Because if I encounter something and I'm just like, no, I just get up and move on, because I just know Kombele, the future is certain. But also, I keep saying the future is certain, but sometimes even things. Okay, how do I put it? Like, all beliefs are limiting. Let me put it like that. Everything is limiting. Even that thing you desire is limiting. Because, for example, like if you have a belief this size, okay, that's the only I can put it. Like, let's say you have a belief this size of, I want to work at a remote job that's paying $100,000 a month, and like I can travel the world, I can do all. So let's say that's the size of your belief. But then there are people making 300. There are people doing this and this. There are people who are making $1 million a month. So everything is in a box. That's how I'm trying to put it. So even if we keep saying that, okay, now I'm starting this journey of waking up and understanding myself and why I say things the way I do, why I do things the way I do, why I react to things the way I do, why I feel the way I do. Just know that anything you desire, even any belief that you have about things, it's also limiting because when you start living this spiritual life and you think about, for example, the intelligence of God, your human mind cannot
fathom.
You cannot reach that. So I think the only being that may be limitless is God, because like there is no limit to God's I'm saying there because like God is not a he or a she, according to me. So to their existence there is no limit to that. But then for us, the human side, like we are not, everything is limiting. Because even the very thing you desire, even if you get it, you'll actually get used to it. And then,
that is so true.
Yeah, you'll get used to it. But then I would advise you, like, if you're starting to, like, try to, learn all these things and then you want to create your life and your desires, just know that even the thing you really want, you don't want. That's what I've come to realize. When I got the things that I really wanted, I realized, it's not the thing I wanted, it's the feeling that I wanted. And I'm like, I want this car so bad. But do you really want a car? You don't want a car, you just want the feeling of, I can move anywhere I want. That's what you want, you don't want the thing.
True. And do you think that, speaking to someone who's listening to this, because you had this conversation, it is possible to feel the thing, to have those feelings without even getting the tangible thing.
That is so true. I know that's the whole thing on its own. But at the same time, when you wake up and you start trying to decipher yourself and to learn as yourself, and I like the way this guy Miro on YouTube, he says that some of us, we pay attention to your phone even more than to yourself. Like, you know your phone even better than you know yourself. So like, for example, like if when you reach the place like where I am, and then maybe where somebody like who is even more enlightened in these things are, you'll come to realize that those material things, it's all those things you want, it's the feeling that you want. So for example, let's say you're somebody who wants to buy a car. How do you embody that feeling? Because clearly you're there hustling with a conductor over your change. So it's like, how am I supposed to feel the feeling of having a car without actually having? You get? So for me, I think it's, for example, practically. If it's somebody who's saying, I want to have a car, for example, because, ask yourself, what is the feeling? I feel like I can go anywhere I want. I can be able to, like show up when it's raining, like my feet won't be muddy, for example. So like for me, the feeling, that feeling when you go deeper into it, you'll say it's convenience, it's what. But then we have realized at the tail end of everything, it's freedom. You want to be free. You want the money because you want to be like, I can spend anywhere I want. That's what you want. That's the tail end of everything is freedom. So like if you are able to digest freedom, manufacture it into the life you already have now, for example, like that's why I keep saying, for example, like that's how I used to take my phone and record my voice saying I have the things that I desire, and the things, it's like the world, I don't want to get too technical, but it's somehow I felt like the world rearranged itself to meet me into my desire. And then also, for example, for somebody who's hustling in the corner of a change, and it's so unique, like sit in that much and actually even be grateful that like I know they could be walking me because I hate running, like there could be that option. Or for example, why don't you choose a seat that you like in the mat? I don't know, like me, because I used to like sitting with the driver.
Do you know, I actually know someone. I know someone who likes sitting at the driver's seat, and because sometimes she has to travel like long distance. She even pays for the seat next to like her, and then this seat katikati, and then now the driver. She pays for it, ndio wakwe tu ako free.
That's how me, that's how I used to feel like. I'd be like, I want that seat next to the driver. That's when I feel that feeling of I'm comfortable. I'm like, what? You know, sometimes I'd pay with M-Pesa so that I don't have to ask for change. Like, there are always paths, you know, small pathways. So manufacture the feeling first. Because I'm telling you, even that car won't do anything for you. If you are there coming from bitterness and resentment and what. If it's raining outside and it's muddy, like, what if there's a border that can take you home and you don't have to step on the mud? I don't know, like something.
Exactly. Or even manufacture a fun. You remember when we were kids? We used to like playing in the mud. I'm not saying.
Imagine, that's true.
You start working and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
you remember that feeling you used to feel like, oh, I used to enjoy this.
I used to enjoy this. Exactly. Imagine that's true. You have to manufacture the things. So like, it's not the things you want, it's the feelings of what you will encounter. So if you're able to live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, that's how I think somebody puts it. Like, that's how you're supposed to, you know, that's how you'll get the certain future you're looking for. And then also, I remember that, I don't know whether I saw it somewhere, that negativity is good for you. Do you know if you're not negative, you'll go and cross the road and you'll die. Because you need negativity
to survive life. Generally, just to survive. Yeah, to be alive.
Even me, even if I know I'll sound like a crazy woman, but like for lack of a better word, that's what I usually, when I have any negative thought, I usually tell my mind, like, thanks for looking out for me, but it's okay, you just calm down.
Yeah, relax.
Yeah, like, relax. I know this is new for you. Like, I talk to it like another person. So I feel like it's I feel the freedom before I get the thing. And then also the thing is, before I forget, when your desires like when they come true, funny thing is, like, if you remember what you mentioned, like, if you didn't come from a bitter place, you came from a good place, even other things add on top of it. Like, how do I say it? Like, for example, you might get the job that you wanted, or you might marry the person you wanted, and then other experiences, it's like they pull themselves to you, even the things you never even imagined.
That's so true.
Yeah, they start pulling themselves.
Yeah, and that's why it's just good also in this journey to just maintain that sense of like open-mindedness. It's like, yes, I want this and this and this, but like I'm so open to so much more.
That's what I say. Like, that's why we keep saying all beliefs are limiting. Even those good ones, they're also limiting, because open yourself up to I want this thing and more. Like, open yourself to the fact that it can be more than that.
Because actually I was reading somewhere that you can, I like that you said, you know, all beliefs are limiting, because I read somewhere that you can believe like this is exactly what I want, and then something bigger comes, or it comes in a different way, and you reject it. And it was actually a good thing, but it's because you're so fixated on that. Like, it has to be exactly like this. So you have to just be open-minded.
That's so true.
Just it being coming like in
form or shape or what. And even sometimes, like, the thing that you want may not come exactly, like it might come even a bit smaller, just a bit. It might come bigger, like the way you're saying, and then sometimes it can come like, it's not exactly, but it's like a staircase where you keep, climbing. But just to caution somebody, you'll never reach like that level of like, now I have everything, I don't need anything, I have everything I want. You'll never reach there.
And I think that's why it's important to, like, the beginning is inside. Like, when your inside is set up, like when you're set up, like you already feel these good things about yourself, about your life, about life. It's like these are the things just come to add on. I might be wrong, because so like I've studied a lot about it, but I think partly that's why maybe you see that people who because the outside thing is what they were depending on to give them that reassurance. Then so that's why you start hearing stories of like someone had so many things, but they're still so unhappy.
That's true. And you don't want to
like,
get there's nothing bad like that. Like there's nothing bad like getting the things you want and you don't get the feeling.
Because it's the feeling that you're after.
It's the feeling
and
that you're after.
That the feeling you can actually cultivate it now. You don't have to wait until you have it.
There's nothing bad like that, honestly.
That's true.
But also, like, I think it's very important for me. I've reached a certain level where, like, the external environment does not even dictate my feelings.
Yes.
Like me, let me tell you, the other day I was going to work and then I cut somebody there in Westie. Yeah. Do you know that guy? Like, he drove in front of me and then he stopped his car and then I think he rolled down his window and then he I don't know that he like stuck his middle finger at me. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm like, guy, like you can actually have a reaction like that.
Yeah.
And then I just waited for him to calm down. And then he just went on his way. And imagine I just went on my day like nothing happened.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
like nothing even happened. So I feel like genuinely, I feel like I've reached a place where you can scream your head off at me and I'm just like, interesting. Okay, like how am I, like what can what did I contribute to this to make you react like this? How can we sort things out? You know, me actually, I don't know what can
I think one of the things I've noticed about you, you're very detached.
Me, I'm very detached.
Outside.
Yeah. But I guess also so that somebody doesn't confuse detachment from like numbness and not caring. I don't think detachment is not caring because I care. I care about my friends. I care about my family. I love people. And of course, like if I was to hear something bad has happened to someone, I want to be like, oh. You know, something like that. Of course, it will affect me. But then, detachment is in a sense where you're good with or without. I'm good with this guy, and I'm good without you also.
Yes.
I'm good with this job, and I'm good without it also. Like, can you reach that place where it's like I'm good with, I'm good without? Yeah. That's the place where you are. So you care. Yes, you do care.
That's so true. And I feel like now, from what you said about cultivating or manufacturing that feeling, I feel like one of the ways that I did that is I started being very intentional about gratitude.
Exactly.
In the smallest
of
things.
Yeah.
I feel like if you learn how to be grateful for like very small tiny things. For me, I love writing. Ash doesn't like writing. Me, I love writing. So I'll write like at the end of the day. I'm grateful that first sip of my tea felt so nice. You know, just small tiny things. Oh, because I also love talking to people. Oh, that person that I talked to was so nice to me. Oh, that conductor like was so kind to me. There's a day I conducted and paid for me fare. I was like, oh, today, because I'm on that route a lot and now we become friends. That person, when I smiled at them, they smiled, but like just small, tiny, like it doesn't have to be a big thing.
Yes.
If there's also big things, write them
down.
All of them. I think that's what helped me learn how to manufacture, quote unquote, that feeling of just feeling good about life and good about like everything. So it's so funny how you can find yourself in the same situation with someone.
Yes.
You're going through the exact same situation.
Yes.
But then now, me, I'm feeling so grateful. And
then
then they're so miserable and frustrated.
That's true.
But me, and it's the same situation. But it's because I chose
you can pick
two small
gratitude.
tiny things that I can be grateful for.
Actually, I really love that. And gratitude is so powerful. Oh my goodness. I think the way you put it, like looking for the small thing, it pulls things more. And also, I remember there's this lady, she keeps saying it's almost like a vortex. You know, a vortex, like they're at the bottom, you know how a tornado is like swirling around. So like it pulls things towards it. It's a disaster. But so the thing is, like, you have to create that vortex of happiness, and in the sense, like, for example, when you be grateful for things, it creates a vortex where like things are pulling towards you. It's like almost the universe is like, oh, there's another thing to be grateful for. Oh, there's another. Exactly. And also, if you're able to find good even in the toughest time, you have to find out one good thing, and then you pull it, and then pull other things. I'm telling you, your life will change. And I know it sounds like we're just talking, but I'm telling you, these are things that change your life. Life is more spiritual than we think it is.
Life is so spiritual. Life is spiritual. We are spiritual beings.
We are.
And I think that's why at the what you say at the tail end of things, what we're looking for is freedom. It's because we are spirits.
We want to be free.
We just want to be free.
We want to be free.
Yeah.
And then also I remember like the analogy that you need to keep in mind is let's say right now you pick a mirror and then you'll see your reflection of yourself. So when you think about it, now what I've come to realize is maybe for most people the reflection, it's like, so the reflection is the effect of me standing in front of the mirror, right? So like, who is the cause? Me, I've caused a reflection to appear on the mirror.
Yeah.
But then for most people, they see that who has caused, it is the world, it is Ruto's economy that is causing the reflection of no jobs, no what. But then when you start looking at life spiritually, the cause is your inside. And then the reflection is this world you're seeing around you. The reflection is your desires coming to life. You get? So think of it like that. Like, so what image do you want to see reflected? It starts from what do I know about myself? What do I want? That the effect that you want to see, the real world will come from the cause, which is you, your internal self, you know. So I know, but for a lot of people, we look at it like, I'm waiting for the external to change, then I feel good. But no, you have to feel good first. Then the external will change.
Yeah,
You get?
exactly.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about like two tools that maybe you've used. I know because you told me about gratitude and also, you record your voice. What are some of the other tools that you feel helped you in that journey?
I think for one also, you need to find the resources. I can't say that. I can't stress that enough. Like you need to also find the resources that you need to like read and listen to and analyze, so that now you reach a place where the external doesn't influence your internal feeling. And then also, I feel like what is it called? You have to understand that when you have to come to an understanding that I have come to accept that it is freedom that I want. So you also have to somehow accept. And another tool, okay, maybe not everyone will agree with me on this, but me, I feel like ChatGPT has really helped me to unearth things about me, because sometimes there's some things that are a bit complicated, even for me to understand about myself, because like I I think there's a series of questions. I don't know whether even we can share them, put them on the description or something, that have helped me like know myself. So like those questions, I got them from this book that you actually recommended for me. So when you go to ChatGPT, for example, you're interested in trying to know yourself, because that's the first thing. When you go to Chat and then you tell Chat, by the Chat, I have these questions, I want you to answer them for me because I want to know myself better. Then Chat is like, okay, send me the questions and then tell me what it is. So you say, me, I usually feel like every guy I meet is always drinking. Me, I don't like people drink because like maybe I come from a family where alcohol was abused, for example. I don't know, but I keep meeting people like that. I keep dating people like this. I don't like my job. It makes me feel like this, and I keep, So just start with the things that you notice about yourself, and then when you ask Chat those questions that we'll share, and it will tell you believe like this maybe because of this. And I'm not saying that ChatGPT is like the god of knowing everything, but I feel like it's a good tool and it's a good starting point for you to be like, I actually have this belief that I didn't know I have. So I think those are now practical things. But I guess maybe you can like have book recommendations where somebody can start to just like know how. If you just feel like maybe my life can't be this, or maybe you're okay with your life, but then you'll be like, okay, what is this? Could there be more than that? Maybe you can start from there. And then another thing also, learn to also appreciate like negative things. Me, that one I think is very practical for me. that one helps me a lot. Like sometimes, what's this story of like Michael Jackson was supposed to have, not is it? Yeah, he was supposed to have a meeting on the Twin Tower, one of the Twin Towers on 9/11, and he just woke up late. Oh, how many people would overreact to that? Gosh, I have a meeting, I'm late. You start hurrying up, and then like a disaster like that happens. We're not saying like the people who encountered that disaster, not like now them they had negative beliefs. No, that's not what you're saying. But then also learn to find like good in the negativity. There are some very deep topics like health, death, sickness. Those are some things that are very intense that I don't think we have the time to get into now. But then like learn in everyday life, like learn me. I think that one is something practical. I find everything bad, even the worst thing, even if I like go and something happens, like when I leave the house and then maybe I hit my toe or something, I'll find something good about that. Yes, I know it sounds silly. Actually, no, it sounds like a kid. No, I feel like a child. Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. I feel like you and me have just relearned so many things.
Yeah, I feel like I've learned something from you.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people who relate to this. And I can't wait for people to even like start asking like, okay, what can I be able to do? How can I be guided on this? Yeah. So thank you
so
very much.
Yeah.
I'm sure that, as in, one of the things I like about the internet or YouTube, because I think it's going to be there like forever. Imagine there's even someone who, it's timeless, let me put it like that. There's someone who maybe even is 100 years from now and they bump into this.
That's what I love about YouTube.
Yeah,
also.
like
the
200 years from now,
they'll be like,
someone bumps
look
into
at these
this.
girls in 2025.
And it's going to make that life actually change,
Me actually, there's a book I read called The Game of Life and How to Play It. It's by a lady called Florence. Guess when that was written? 100 years ago. 1925.
Yeah.
And that book like made me change a lot of things. So but also I don't want to recommend things too much because I feel like things like there you said life just is. So when you start unpacking this whole spiritual journey, your vortex will be pulled in by things that are for you. Because maybe when you read The Game of Life, you'll be like, huh? What's this? This not even helping me, but me, maybe it helped me. You get? So I would just feel like just go and start from something. Okay, maybe that's a good starting point because it's a small book, it's not a lot, and then it's not too deep. Because me, I've read books that will make you question, like, what? So like before you get there, like just start small things. Start with like a TikTok video or something, and then your vortex will be pulled by other things.
That's so true. I love that you say that because at the end of the day, like even though we are all kind of like one, it's like every single person has their own journey.
Exactly.
Every single person has their own journey.
Their own journey to freedom.
Exactly. All of us, we are working towards freedom, but like even the way you're saying, what you want may not be what I want.
That's true.
It's so what true. I desire might not be what you desire. Exactly.
But then also like for somebody, also I like that you mentioned everyone has their own journey because I've come to reach out. Now me, I'm at the place where the desire even doesn't matter anymore. So like for me, I really like the journey more. I like seeing the how.
Exactly.
Well, because I'm just
like the adventure part.
That's the adventure part. Because people don't. What was it? What that I was telling you yesterday? I feel like people don't want to travel. They want to reach. So you don't want to travel. I want the thing now. I want now. But I kid you not. Even that G-Wagon that May want. Even when I get it, imagine after 1 week it will be there. The party
it's just gonna be a normal thing.
It's just gonna be a normal thing. You get? But I want to see, but I actually want a G-Wagon. So I want to see, let me see how is it going to unfold.
How is this journey?
How is it going to come? And the how is none of your business.
It's none of your business.
That's what you learn also. The how is none of your business. Me, I just want to see, I want to know how this G-Wagon will come to be. You get? Because I know the future is certain. I'm gonna have it.
Exactly.
But I don't know how it's going to come. You get?
Exactly.
Exactly. And also maybe another practical thing is the things you want. Like for example, if you want a house, if you want a car, why don't you just go to the dealership even? Like why don't you just go and tell them, but they I don't have one Axela. Like can you show me the inside? And you don't even have 1,000 just sit there alone. And then sometimes even the car, you might say you want this car, but then you end up buying even another totally different one. But I'm telling you, they do the same thing.
Yeah.
Even that G-Wagon will do the same thing Avitz is doing on the road.
That's true. That is so true.
Yeah, but get the feeling. And sometimes to manufacture the feeling, you need to be out there. Look at the houses. Go and look at a house and you don't even have that 10 million. But just go and look.
Actually, I was reading a book even saying like even expose yourself to those environments.
Expose yourself.
Just go there. Yeah, you
just go.
Yeah.
Because if you keep sitting at house and like, okay, I feel good, but you feel miserable, honestly, it's not gonna help.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not gonna help. Yeah. Okay, this topic is big.
It's big. I feel like we should do this more often.
Definitely. Yeah, me too. It was so organic, and I was feeling, even I was telling you, I'm feeling like, will I do this? But I feel like I'm just talking.
So well.
Yeah.
And actually, when we started recording this, we were doing it as a run. It ended up like that's how the video is. This is it. We're not doing anything else.
Can you imagine if it sounds like, oh my god, I can't do this again.
Okay.
Anyways, I'm sure it's
recording. Yeah. So thank you so much. I hope you guys have enjoyed that conversation.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing you the next time.
Okay.
Bye.
Okay. Why are you laughing? No, don't be
Shy. Okay.
This will be like the, what is this called? The BTS that you do at the end of the video. Right? Yeah.